Viewer discretion is advised. In March 2024, we released our first investigation into the horrific reality of Ireland's pig industry. What happened next?
The video asked what life is really like for pigs in Ireland. It is truly the most awful life that you can imagine.
Animal agriculture has to come to an end.
The pig industry is an abomination. No one could look at those pigs in those stalls, crates or pens and convince themselves that they are content or well cared for.
What's going to happen about it? Will the state have at least an investigation into conditions in the pig industry?
We need to give farmers ways and means to transition out of pig farming. It is not a good industry. It should be shut down, in my opinion. How often are pig farms inspected? How many fines have they been given for mistreatment or for animal welfare? This really needs to be acted upon. It's time for this cruelty to end and for sow stalls in particular to be banned in Ireland.
Deputy Paul Murphy recently submitted a parliamentary question to ask the Minister for Agriculture about the results of the department's investigation following the submission of the pig farm footage. This was their response. In March 2024, my department received material relating to alleged breaches of animal welfare requirements on 2 Irish pig farms. I can confirm that the material was reviewed by my officials and a follow-up investigation was commenced. Enforcement actions as considered necessary and appropriate were taken. The matter is still subject to ongoing review and investigation. I can also confirm to the Deputy that pig farms in Ireland are subject to risk-based animal welfare inspections as part of official controls carried out under specific pig welfare legislation. My department is fully committed to promoting and maintaining high animal welfare standards and to continued enforcement of the Animal Health and Welfare Act 2013 and other relevant animal welfare legislation. A few months later, we continued our efforts to expose the truth, and this is what we found. Location: Cavan. Farms visited: 4. In 2023, there were approximately 93 pig farms in the county of Cavan. Approximately 96.8% of pigs in Ireland are kept on large-scale factory farms. Like our previous investigation, we picked the farms at random with no prior tip-offs or knowledge of the conditions contained within. We have now visited 6 farms in total, all with the same conditions found. Farm 1. This is what the outside of hell looks like. Just like our first investigation, you are about to witness both legal and illegal animal cruelty. What is legal? Sow stalls, farrowing crates, barren fattening pens, tail docking when farmers deem it necessary, no outdoor space, no bedding, no natural light. What's illegal? Filthy conditions, no food, no water, no enrichment, no veterinary treatment. Filthy, disgusting farrowing crates, no space to move, and every piglet had their tail docked without anaesthetic. This piglet was unable to stand or get away from their siblings pushing them around. Unusual, stereotypical behaviour was displayed by this poor sow who was lying down, obsessively licking the floor of her crate the entire time we were there. Stereotypical behaviour is repetitive behaviour with no goal or function resulting from extreme stress. These behaviours are rarely seen in animals in the wild and are most commonly found in animals kept in captivity. As you can see here, she has nothing in her trough. Other stalls were filthy with feces. This piglet was unable to stand or walk properly and had a very visible injured front right foot. Bar biting, common in distressed pigs, is witnessed here. This room is their daily life with no escape from suffering every second of the day. Note that in this shed, even though it was nighttime, the lights were kept on permanently. We found more horrors in the weaner or fattening pen. Total darkness, filthy, rancid conditions and visible injuries and health issues such as hernias. Ill and injured pigs were held here in the sick pen. One sow had a severely torn, infected vulva which was visibly bleeding. We could only imagine the extreme pain she must have been in. The other had what appeared to be a severe neurological issue. Note there is zero bedding and nothing to provide comfort for these dying sows. They're not even shown the mercy of euthanasia. They are just a number and a commodity to make money. These are sow stalls. Before we even entered the shed, we could hear frantic vocalising from the sows, a sign of extreme distress. Desperate to escape, this will be her life until she is killed. Farm 2. More filthy conditions were found in this farm. These are the fattening pens, hugely infested with flies. This piglet was suffering from ear necrosis. A probable cause for this could be biting, which is a common symptom of extreme stress due to confinement. It could also be due to an infection. The fattening pens were loud and had no bedding or any enrichment. Here you can see more injured ears affected by necrosis. We found this dead pig outside the buildings. Note the missing eye, indicating that the body had been left there for at least several hours. This is a huge biosecurity violation which is a risk to both human and animal health. Farm 3. There were truly revolting sheds at this farm. Look at the cobwebs and the state of the ceiling. Those bars hanging by chains are supposed to be their entertainment, known in the industry as enrichment. The next shed of sow stalls were no different. Can you imagine this being your life? Rub wounds were prevalent along with flies. This was just sitting out there in the open, not stored properly. It's a bottle of Azapork which is used to control aggression or stress in sows. The next day we observed these pigs left in a transport truck, unattended and very agitated. Farm 4. This farm, a breeding facility, was newer and much bigger than the previous 3 we visited. It had thousands of pigs on site. Confined, no bedding, no enrichment, and a sow who was visibly lame and in pain. The site was fly infested and scratch marks were visible on many pigs throughout the sheds we visited. Artificial lights were on even though it was the middle of the night. No animal deserves a life like this. We found enrichment in these 2 pens, planks of wood and metal chains. How is this supposed to stimulate or entertain them? This sow was very thin and covered in flies. Bar biting was common here too. In the farrowing sheds, the sows had no room to move. The piglets' tails were docked, fecal matter was visibly dried in on the bars and walls, and there were more flies. We saw this dying piglet clearly in need of urgent veterinary attention. These piglets were covered in feces. And as you can see, the 2 on the right were clearly sick. The others on the left have visibly bloodied docked tails. More bloodied dock tails were visible in this pen, as well as a clearly psychologically broken sow. Like the previous farms, we found sows with rub wounds here too. Dead piglets were observed here who had clearly been left there for some time. Their mother forced to look at their lifeless body from her cage. Look at her. Is a bacon sandwich worth doing this? We found charts like this which list possible reasons for deaths on the farms, all acceptable in the pig industry. Upon leaving, we made this grim discovery: a bin full of dead pigs, a common find on farms and a result of injuries and illnesses. For pigs, death is their only escape from the sadistic conditions they are forced to endure from the second they are born. Could you do this to an animal? Could you walk into these sheds day after day and think it's okay? If you did this to a dog or a cat, you would be prosecuted. People with no empathy are a danger to animals and to people. And we're not just talking about the farmers. The Department of Agriculture, inspectors, vets and suppliers all see and know what happens, yet do nothing. These pigs can't even turn around. Their options are standing still or lying down. No outdoor space, no bedding, no enrichment, no clean space, no sunlight, no life. If you eat pig products, this is what you're paying for. If you eat pig products, this is happening because of you too, not just the farmers or the authorities. By boycotting these products, you can help stop 3.5 million pigs being abused and killed here every year. Ireland's pig industry is a depraved example of what humans are capable of when there are no consequences to their actions. Well, their days are numbered. This is the final countdown, and we are going to dedicate our time to eradicating this abomination from the country. So, what now? Deputy Paul Murphy will be introducing a bill to ban the majority of the cruelest aspects of pig farming, and we are working with other politicians to put forward proposals to help farmers transition out of animal agriculture. These legislative changes, if approved, would be a great step towards shutting down this barbaric industry. But what we really need is a full and immediate ban on pig farming in Ireland, not just welfare improvements or a slow transition for farmers, because much like fur farming, there is no way in which this industry could ever be legislated into being acceptable. Animals are not ours to use, abuse, kill or eat. Another way is possible, and you have the power to make kinder choices every time you go to the supermarket. Are you ready to join in our efforts to ban pig farming in Ireland? There are 3 ways you can help. Go vegan today. We can help you with this. Tell your friends and family, share on social media, and lobby your local politicians. Get active in our campaign to shut down animal abusers, one farm at a time. You can write letters, join protests, hand out leaflets. It all helps. Contact us today.